Hey friends, welcome back to Just Dig It Farms. I'm Tracy and I am so happy that you decided to join me today. It is mid-November here in central Alabama and we still haven't had our first frost. November the 11th was our estimated first frost date and it looks like we have probably another week, maybe possibly two, before the first frost is coming. And I'm happy about that because I'm still harvesting things from the potager garden. In fact, my herbs have come alive again. This summer has been brutal. We've had a major drought. It's been really hot and all of my things out in the garden just kind of withered up and got sad. I mean, we had a really good harvest this year. We put up a lot of food. I've harvested a lot of herbs. I've got tinctures and herbal oil infusions, oxymeals. I've got a bunch of different herbs that I've dried and put up to be able to make teas all winter long. So I'm excited. We had a really good year in the garden this year. But towards the end of the summer, the heat just kind of made everything wilty and sad and just done. But these herbs, they have taken on a new life since it started getting cooler. We got some rain. We got a little bit of rain finally. And these herbs are just alive and ready to be harvested. That is the thing with herbs. They want to be harvested. They want to be cut. They want to be used. That's their purpose. And they do so much better in your garden when you actually harvest them and use them. So before the frost comes and knocks all of my herbs back for the winter, I'm going to take advantage of this beautiful second growth that some of them have put on, and I'm going to harvest some more today. We're going to harvest what's growing and healthy out here in the potager garden today. We're going to dry them and preserve them, and we might make a tincture out of a couple of them. So this video is going to be all about herbs, which is probably one of my most favorite things to grow and definitely one of my most favorite things to talk about. Hello, Basie. This is Basil. If you haven't met our sweet new addition to our farm, this is Basil and we call her Basie. And we have Callie, which is short for calendula, and I don't know where she is. She's out hunting somewhere. Okay, let's walk through the garden and see what herbs we can harvest today. This is lemon balm, or Melissa officinalis, which is often referred to as the gladdening herb because it's a really good nervine and it just uplifts your spirits. It's calming, it's relaxing. One of our favorite ways to use lemon balm is to make a delicious herbal tea out of it. I'll add some other herbs with it like chamomile, maybe a little bit of mint, and we make up a delicious nighttime tea with lemon balm. The best time to use lemon balm is to use it fresh. You can also dry it, of course. So I'm going to harvest some of this. We're going to have some tea tonight, but I'm also going to dry some for some tea this winter. I also have a tincture in my pantry right now of lemon balm infusing so that we can take this as we need it because it has so many great medicinal benefits as well. Melissa officinalis is the botanical name for lemon balm, and Melissa in Greek means bee. And I have lemon balm scattered all throughout the potager garden here because the bees love it. Pollinators love it when it's blooming. And I love to incorporate herbs all throughout my potager garden because a lot of your pollinators do love herbs, and most of your herbs are pest confusers. So they act as really good companion plants for your vegetables and your fruit because the fragrance and the volatile oils and the fragrances from the herbs, a lot of your pest does not like it. So it's a great companion with your vegetables and your fruit. So I have lemon balm scattered all throughout the garden, but you do need to be a little bit careful with that because lemon balm is in the mint family. So it spreads not only by root, but by seed. But a good way to keep some control of it so it doesn't take over your whole garden is when it does flower to cut off the flowers before it goes to seed, or else you will have lemon balm popping up everywhere. I am going to harvest some of these catnip leaves because they are really good in a tea as well. They're very relaxing and calming. Another great nervine, many medicinal benefits. This is oregano, and right behind it here is sage, garden sage. Now, oregano makes an excellent ground cover for your garden. I love to grow it on the edges or the borders of my potager garden beds. It helps with weed control. It makes like a beautiful living mulch. It's so pretty how it gracefully just climbs and falls over the rock or the bed borders. It's beautiful in the garden. In a vegetable garden, a flower garden, an ornamental garden. Oregano makes a beautiful ground cover in any kind of garden. And it's also beautiful to add it to your pots, your containers, as the spiller that spills over your pot. Now, I like to add it to my garden, to my potager garden beds, because it is a wonderful pollinator attractant. Beneficial insects love oregano when it's blooming. They adore the blooms. Of course, oregano is an excellent herb to use in culinary dishes. It's awesome on pizza and spaghetti sauce and marinara sauce, and oregano is great in Greek, Italian seasonings and lamb and pork, and oregano is just an awesome culinary herb, but it's also a great medicinal herb. Oregano is a natural antibiotic, and I am harvesting some today. I've already harvested some that I've got put up. I dried it and I've got it put up to cook with. But today I'm going to harvest a good bit of this, and I'm going to make a tincture out of it, an oregano tincture, so that I can use it as a natural antibiotic. When using oregano medicinally, you do need to be cautious with that, because it is like a natural antibiotic, and you don't want to, take it all the time and kill off all of the good bacteria in your body. Just like with taking a, pharmaceutical antibiotic, when you take it for a prolonged period of time, then you're, killing off all of the good gut health, the good bacteria. So you don't want to take this prolonged. You want to just take this as needed for a short period of time if you have something going on and you need an antibiotic. We also use oregano for our chickens. We put oregano oil in our chicken water, and it helps to fight off parasites. So oregano has many, many uses other than just cooking with it. Now, I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be a doctor. I don't even claim to be an herbalist. I am a student of herbalism. I will forever be a student of herbalism, because the more I learn about herbs, the more I realize I know nothing. There's so much to know about herbs, so much to know about herbs. And I don't know that I'll ever learn it all. I don't think that's possible. So I do not claim to be an herbalist. I am just a student of herbalism. I do adore herbs. I'm very, very passionate about them. It's what introduced me. Herbs is what introduced me to gardening. Herbs was my first introduction to gardening, and they just captivated me. And from there, I went crazy. You hear a lot of homesteaders saying it all started with 3 chickens. For me, it all started with 2 herbs. That's how this whole entire thing started, with me falling in love with 2 herbs and herb gardening. So I am very passionate about herbs. I do study them. I am a student at the Herbal Academy. I have a very good friend who has been my herb mentor for over 20 years. Her name's Debbie Boudelier, and she's taught me a lot. I've participated in the Herb Society and different herb groups. I've just studied and read and researched herbs for over 20 years and used herbs for over 20 years, experimented with them, and I just love them. I truly believe that God gave us herbs so that we could heal ourselves. Now, I'm not a doctor, not a pharmacist, not even an herbalist. I'm just somebody that is very, very passionate about them, and I do believe in their healing properties. This is garden sage, which is so beautiful in the garden. It adds so much texture and contrast in any garden. I love this blue-green, grayish colored foliage on it, and the texture of the leaves is just really, really nice. It smells wonderful when it blooms in the spring. It is gorgeous. It has beautiful purple blooms that your pollinators absolutely love. Most of us will be using garden sage really soon to make our turkey and dressing, and it's also really good to add to sausage, of course, but it also has a lot of medicinal benefits as well. Sage is packed full of antioxidants and vitamins, and it's really helpful for women with menopause issues. It's been known to help reduce and lower blood sugar. It's really good for memory and brain health, and a host of other medicinal benefits for sage. So I'm just going to dry some. You can make a really nice sage tea. You can, of course, dry this and cook with it. You can make a tincture with it if you wanted to. There's all kinds of things you could do with sage. I'm mostly going to be drying it to cook with it and to make tea with it. This is comfrey. Of course, there's no bloom right now, but there's some really nice, healthy looking foliage that I'm going to harvest right now. I'm going to dry it and get another batch of comfrey and calendula infused oil going so that I can keep making salves. I've got some right now that's been infusing for probably 8 weeks, and it's ready to be strained, and so that I can make some salve from it. And I want to keep it going. I want to keep more batches of infused oils going so that if I run out of salve, I'll be able to make some more, and I won't have to wait till spring before I have my herbs to make it. I have plenty of calendula that I harvested this summer, actually early spring. Once summer comes, calendula stops. It just gets too hot and it dies out. So it's spring when I harvested all of my calendula, and I've got a lot. I've got gallon jars full of nice, beautiful dried calendula blooms. So I have plenty of that. I just need to get a few more comfrey leaves and dry these and add them. Okay, I got a nice basket full here, and I know I'm gonna grab some rosemary. I'm gonna get a few rosemary sprigs to dry. And it's time to harvest Roselle again. I'm super excited about that. Rosemary is another one of those herbs that is an excellent companion plant in your garden. Great pest confuser, attracts many pollinators. It's an excellent herb to cook with, of course. It's also great for many different beauty products. You can make a wonderful hair rinse with rosemary. There's so many things you can do with it, and it has so many medicinal benefits. So I definitely want to have this in my apothecary. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these, hang them upside down, hang them in my kitchen and let them dry, and it makes the kitchen smell so yummy. Our basket's getting full. It's going to take us a while to do all of this. That's all we're going to harvest for right now. My herbs are starting to wilt up that we've harvested. I'm going to get them inside and get them laid out to dry or hung up to dry. We've still got to harvest our Roselle, but I'm going to come back out and get this harvested after we put these herbs up. One thing that we haven't talked about yet is when is the best time to harvest your herbs. The best, most optimal time to harvest your herbs is in the morning, after the sun has come up just enough to dry up the dew that was on the herbs from overnight and early morning, but before the sun gets too hot and intense. When the sun starts getting really hot and intense, it makes the volatile oils that's in the herbs kind of dissipate, and they're not as potent as they are before the sun hits them. Herbs have the most flavor, the highest concentrate of their volatile oils still in them, which is where their aroma and their fragrance comes from. and their highest quality of medicinal properties in them in the morning before the sun gets too hot and intense on them. So if you can get out there and harvest them in the morning, that's when they're going to be at their optimal level. And it's really best to go ahead and do something with your herbs immediately after you harvest them. Whether that be just take them inside and get them in the refrigerator, or, you know, go ahead and process them and do what you're going to do. Either hang them up to dry, lay them out to dry, dehydrate them, or get a tincture going out of them. You know, whatever you're going to do with them, it's really best if you can, as soon as you harvest them, take them inside and get them processed. Hey y'all, I want to take a break from our video for just a moment to tell you about something that I am really excited about. It has been a goal of mine for a few years now to open up an online shop, to be able to offer you products and things from our farm as well as from other farms and craftsmen and artisan that are local to me and that are actually dear friends of mine. This is something that we have been working towards for a while, and I am excited to tell you that we finally opened up our online shop. You can go to our website, JUSTDIGITfarms.com, and that's where you will find our shop, The Farm Stand. Right now we have 3 different products that are available. We have our honey, our Just Dig It Farms honey, which is from our bees here at our farm. We have been keeping bees for over 8 years now. The honeybees actually moved to the farm before we did. We take care of our honeybees as naturally as possible. We don't use any kind of chemicals in treating our honeybees. And Jean and I love being beekeepers. We love having honeybees here on our farm. We enjoy inspecting and caring for the bees together. We harvest the honey, sling it, label it, bottle it. We do it all together here on our farm, and we really love it. And we really love our honey. It's all natural, pure and raw honey, and it is delicious. We also have goat's milk soap available on our shop. Now, I have a very dear friend named Laura Spencer. Her business is called Simply Making It. She has goats as well, and she milks her goats and makes wonderful goat's milk soap. She has mastered the art and the science of creating the perfect bar of soap. So I am so excited to partner with Laura at Simply Making It and be able to offer you some signature Just Dig It Farms goat's milk soap. I met with Laura a few times at her beautiful little shop, and we created 8 different soaps that I absolutely love and that Jean loves. We've created an In the Garden collection. We have basil, sage, and mint that has our beautiful Potager garden gates stamped on it. Rosemary and lavender and patchouli rose. You can buy these individually, or you can buy all 3 as the collection, as the In the Garden collection, and get a few dollars off when you buy all 3. We also have an In the Woods collection for the gentleman. Now, a lot of these fragrances I love myself, like the Bay Rum Vanilla is delicious. This one has our Just Dig It Farms logo on it. I hope you can see it. There's a little bit of a glare because they are shrink wrapped. Cedar wood. And this one is Jean's big idea. This is the unscented, and it's camouflaged. He's a big deer hunter, and he wanted a soap that had no fragrance at all so the deer wouldn't smell him when he's in the woods. But this is also a great soap if you have sensitivities to fragrances or essential oils, or you just want a good, clean, unscented soap. So this is the In the Woods collection. You can also buy these individually, or you can buy them as the collection and get a few dollars off. We also have our honey lavender soap. And this soap is made with our honey and some lavender from our garden. And for the holidays, we have apple orchard, and it smells like apples and cinnamon, and it is yummy for the fall and for Christmas. And the other product that we have on our shop right now is this long sleeve t-shirt that I'm wearing right now. It's so comfortable. This is Comfort Colors shirt. It's available in 5 different colors, and the design on it, there's nothing on the front, but the design on the back and down the sleeves is super cute, and we're calling this Nature's Praise. My friend Jacqueline Head, who does so much for us, I wouldn't be able to do all of these things without her. She does our photography, our website. She set up my shop. She's helping to manage my shop and ship. And she created this beautiful shirt, and we have many more designs that we're going to be creating in the future for merchandise. This design is only going to be offered for a limited time, and then we'll have a different design offered for you. And we're doing this in pre-sales. So we have a pre-sale schedule that is on the website, on the shop, that you can see. If you place an order from Sunday to Saturday, then your shirt will be shipped out on Wednesday. So that's how we're doing our merchandise now, is pre-orders. It just makes everything easier for us as a small business. This is just the beginning, y'all. We have many more products that we're going to be adding to our shop from our farm, as well as from other local farmers, artisans, and craftsmen. Y'all, please go check out our shop, The Farm Stand, at JUSTDIGITfarms.com. And thank you in advance for supporting our farm and small business, as well as our friends that we're partnering with. There's many different ways that you can dry herbs, and I use a lot of different methods, really. I tie them up. When I have like long wands of them, a lot of times I'll tie them up in a bundle of 3 to 5. You don't want to do too many because it needs to be plenty of air circulation around them. But I do about 3 to 5 branches of it, stems of it, tie it up with some twine, and then I'll hang it up and let it dry. I've got all over the kitchen. I do it all over the place. So the sage and the rosemary, I'm definitely going to be doing like that, because it also just looks so lovely in your kitchen when it's hanging up like this. I've got different little hooks and places that I put it, and it really looks pretty in the kitchen. Plus, it helps the kitchen smell really nice. The best conditions to dry your herbs is in a cool, dark spot. A place where, you know, there's no moisture, there's no light, and just a cool, dark spot, like a cool, dark closet or a pantry. Those are great areas to dry your herbs. My kitchen's cool, but it's not dark. But these herbs still dry well when they're hanging up in here. My plan is to do a good bit of content on herbs this winter. I've got a lot of different herbs that I'd like to talk to you about and tell you about, and I'm going to be making a lot of different herbal products through the winter time. It's some of my winter projects that I enjoy doing, and I plan to put some videos together telling you different things about each one of the herbs and making some different herbal products with y'all on some of the videos. So if you're interested in that kind of content and you haven't subscribed to our channel, go ahead and go over and hit that subscribe button, and also hit the notification button so you can be notified whenever I put out a video. I do my very, very best to post a long form video every Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Time. And we also try to do a lot of shorts, YouTube shorts, and we're also over on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, where we post every single day there. If you're not following us on those platforms, or you're not subscribed to our channel, y'all do that. We would love for you to be a part of our community. We're in my closet in my study here, and this is where I dry a lot of herbs. This is where my seeds are stored. this is where everything gets stored. And you can see right here, this is how I was drying herbs in here in my study closet, on a pan and just letting them dry. This is Roselle. Most of my Roselle I've done in the dehydrator, but I had harvested these and it wasn't enough to put in the dehydrator, so I just stuck them in here. But I ordered this really cool expandable drying rack from Amazon, and I love it. It's really nice. It hangs up in here in my closet. It's a little crowded, but it's okay. And it unzips, and then you can just lay your herbs in there, and then I can turn off my light, shut my door. It's cool, it's dark in here, and the herbs dry really good in my closet here. We're going to start with these comfrey leaves, and I'm just going to lay them inside here. This will be the first time that I've used this drying rack, so we're going to see how well it does. I think it's going to do really good. Usually I wash my herbs when I bring them in, and then I just lay them all out on a towel. I pat them dry, and I let them lay there for just a little bit until they're dry. And then I'll put them either in the drying rack, the dehydrator, or hang them to dry, or whatever method I'm using. I didn't wash these today because we had a really good rain last night and early this morning. And I went out and harvested them after the sun had come out and dried up the rain a little bit. But they're pretty clean. Plus my beds where I grow my herbs are really clean. I mulch, and you know, I usually don't have a lot of dirt on my herbs to have to wash off, but I usually do wash them anyway. But because of the rain that we had, the rain kind of did that work for me. I am checking them just to make sure, you know, there's no dirt. There's no bugs or anything on them, or they're not bad like that one. That don't look good. I'm not gonna do it. I only want the best. I want the best looking herbs. So I am kind of inspecting each one of them. Then I'm just laying them in here. I'm making sure they're not on top of each other or anything, so that they can dry really well. Okay, we got 3 racks of comfrey, we got 2 catmints, and we got 1 lemon balm. And I did take a sticky note and put in there what they were on the rack and the date, so I would remember. Because you think you're going to remember, but when they dry, you forget what they were. So I labeled them. I've got this one going. Now I still have this basket of lemon balm and oregano. I didn't have enough room for all the lemon balm in here. So these are going to go in the dehydrator now. This is some Roselle that I've had in my dehydrator, and it's finished, it's ready. So I just took it out. I'm going to put it in my mason jar here and make some wonderful Roselle tea out of this. If you'd like to know how to grow, harvest, preserve, and even make some delicious Roselle tea, I just put out a video about that last week, so I'll put a link in the description below and you can go back and watch that if you haven't seen it already. All of this lemon balm didn't fit in my drying rack in my closet there, so I'm going to dehydrate it. And what I'm going to do is just pick off any of the leaves that look bad, and you can just take your finger and strip it, and they all come off pretty much. You could just lay this whole thing down if you wanted to, but I like to go ahead and strip it off the best I can. You actually can get more on here like that, unless of course you want to use the stems, which are usable. You can use the leaves, the stems, and the flowers of the lemon balm. So we'll put these in the dehydrator on the lowest setting. Herbs do better when they can dry between 95 and 110. Low and slow. And I'm going to save some of this fresh lemon balm to make us a pot of lemon balm and chamomile tea tonight. So now I'm doing my oregano, and I'm just making sure there's nothing no grass or bad leaves on here, spotted dirty leaves, bugs or anything. And I'm just taking it and stripping the little leaves off the stem. So we'll dehydrate this oregano. Now I'm going to take the rest of this oregano that I have in here, and we're going to go ahead and make a tincture with it. Tinctures really are more potent when you use fresh herbs. You can use dried herbs if you want to, but I like to do my tinctures when at all possible with fresh herbs. When making a tincture, you want to use a sterilized mason jar, or that's what I like to use. And then this is called the folk method. So this is just the old way of doing it without measuring. And I just take my herb, put it in my mason jar here. Again, I'm inspecting it, making sure I'm getting only the best leaves. I mean, you can put stems and all in here. So I'm just gonna stuff this jar full of herbs. Probably about 3/4 of the way full. This is all oregano. I'm making an oregano tincture, which will serve us as a natural antibiotic. I like to get a pestle and kind of pack them in there a little bit and kind of break up the herb a little bit, because that helps to get it to where your solvent, which is your vodka, can really absorb into your herbs. We've got our mason jar about 3/4 of the way full of our oregano, our herb. Now we're just gonna cover it with vodka. And this is 80, you wanna use 80 to 100 proof vodka. See how easy this is? Tinctures, to me, are one of the easiest herbal remedies you can make. Easiest. Plus, I think they're probably one of the most potent. And you want to make sure that your herbs are completely submerged and covered in your solvent, which is a vodka. Now, you can also make a tincture with vegetable glycerites, which is really good if you're making things for children because there's no alcohol content, and it also adds a little sweet flavor to it. You can make tinctures with apple cider vinegar. So if you prefer not to use alcohol, you don't have to make a tincture. You can use apple cider vinegar or the vegetable glycerin. Now we're going to shake this up really good and put it in a cool, dark pantry for 6 to 8 weeks. I've got some in my pantry right now that's been in there for 10 weeks or longer. So the longer you leave it, the more potent it's going to be. But leave it at least 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, so that that herb can really absorb all of that alcohol and make a really good, potent tincture. You also want to make sure you label it. Do not forget to label it. So I'm putting the herb, my solvent, which was 80 proof vodka, today's date. Then I'm going to put this in my pantry, in a cool, dark pantry. I'm going to give this a shake every day that I can remember. And then I usually open mine up and make sure that the herb is under the solvent. Okay. And there we have that. See how easy that was? We've got lemon balm and oregano in the dehydrator. We've got rosemary and sage hanging to dry. We've got catnip, comfrey, and lemon balm in the drying rack in my closet in my study. And we made an oregano tincture. So we have really preserved some herbs today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today in the garden, in the herb garden, and in the kitchen. I love herbs. If you can't tell by now, I'm super passionate about herbs. I hope this video is helpful for you today so that you can grow and preserve and create your own medicinal preparations. And I hope you all have a blessed and a wonderful week, and I'll see y'all next week.